Okay, everybody. So what I'm trying to do right now is build a remote downstream injector bypass, and um, I mean, there's a nice one out there right now that's be worth the money if you want to buy it. But I've got a little time on my hands, and so I'm always looking for ways of saving money. So I found this ball valve actuator. It's 12 volt online. I'll put a link to it, and everything I have here, I'm going to put a link down below. So if you want to click on it and check prices and current prices, and if you want to do it or not. But basically, this is a 12 volt actuator. So the way it works is it comes with a bracket, and you put over your ball valve, like the bracket would go here. Now I have run into an issue where the small lever, if I can find it here, oh, it's right here. This small handle right here is too short for this to grab. So I'm going to have to alter this handle and put like a regular ball valve handle on it. But anyway, that's another video. This one's about remotes. So I've temporarily hooked everything up here. This is for you guys that do experiments and need to test stuff. This is nothing but a an electric railroad track control. It has forward and reverse. You can adjust the voltage. I've pre-marked 6, 9, and 12 volts right here, and it goes to like 16. And on the back here, you've got, straight 15 volts. You've got AC volts. It's like 18 volts AC, and then you have the variable right here. So I use the variable all the time when I'm doing little projects, and these can be bought off of eBay for about 10 bucks, as opposed to getting a big fancy electrical converter, generator, and all that stuff to do projects. But anyway, that was another tip. So I had recently purchased this motor controller about 6 months ago to build a Halloween prop that was remote controlled. And this thing, I could control it farther than I can see it, probably. And I never even brought that antenna up on the transmitter, but this one has great distance, and it's also 30 amps, but that's actually overkill for this controller here. This, I believe, is rated at 1 or 2 amps, and then this LED I'm going to have hooked to it, virtually nothing. But this one here is 40 bucks. I know it works, but I was looking at, and it comes with one remote, and I've tried to get 2 remotes. These companies say just message me and I'll get you another remote, and they never get back with me. I've done that 2 different sellers. So this comes with one remote. I would like to have another remote for a backup, but maybe I don't need to. But then I came over here and I was looking at this one here. It's called eMilo online, and it's compact. It's an actual motor control or linear actuator control. So that means basically you have your positive and negative input and your positive and negative output, and then what it does is switches polarity. Same as this. This is 30 amp. This is 10 amp. The reason I got this one, I kind of got ahead of myself. The reason I purchased this one to see if it worked is it was $13 shipped, and it comes with 2 transmitters. So and it's 10 amps, so it's plenty heavy enough. And most of your remote valves that you buy, already made, are going to run 2 amps or below. I'm pretty sure of it. So this would be plenty heavy enough, but it doesn't have the distance. So I've had this one apart, and here's the receiver right here. And so it has a little antenna. And so you can take that antenna and drill a hole through your case and run it out and stretch it out and get more distance. So I just thought, well, let me just take this one apart and see what it is. It's a $13 experiment is what it is. And so I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. All right, so this one's apart. As you can tell, it's just basically this one, but you know, only 1/3 the size. But what interests me is the receiver on it. See that receiver on the more expensive one and the receiver on this cheap one? It also has an antenna on it. It looks almost identical. So what I'm hoping I can do is take this antenna and drill a hole through the case and pull that antenna out and see if I can't get more distance. So if I can get even 150 feet off of this one here, then that would be a good buy for anybody if they want a cheaper way of operating their components. We know this one will work, but you can buy almost 4 of these for what, well, 3.5 of these for what this one costs. So that's what my experiment is today. So and I'll leave links to everything down here so you can check it out. So I'm going to hook this up, you know, with all my temporary stuff and get the actuator working, get the strobe working, and I'm just going to walk across the street and see how far I can go. So hang with me, I'm going to hook it all up. Alright, so I've got it temporarily all hooked up, and I'm not going to straighten out that antenna on the receiver, and I'll show you how it works here. All fine and dandy when you're up this close. Alright, so now I'm going to walk out to the street. Okay, so I'm out in the street, and you'll be able to look in the garage there and see the strobe light if it's working. Okay, you see the strobe light? So the valve's all the way on now. I'm going to turn it off one more time. It's working just fine. Okay, so I'm about 80 feet from the front of the house, and the garage is about 20, so it's probably close to 100 feet. All right, everybody, I hooked up the small one. Now this one earlier got about 50 foot. When I went out to the street where I was standing with this one, it would not work. Now that was with the antenna down. So inside here we'll hook up here. Let's see, that's already in that position, so we'll go there. So you can see it works just fine. I will say the remotes are quite a bit lighter, but it looks to me like there's a lot of them, a lot of these units sold online where there's no antenna on the transmitter and the antenna is on the receiver. And since both of these receivers are virtually about the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this antenna up and see if I can't get the signal from where I was getting this signal from. So hold on a second. Okay, so I just extended that antenna, that coiled up antenna up, and it's about 7 inches. And so now I'm going to go out to the street and see if this doesn't work. We'll test it again before I go out there. Okay. And then there's a stop here too if you want to stop in the middle. Both of them have that. So for some reason, if you want, I mean, you can just go from on and off without any issue. Like there's on, we'll go off. Or you can pause it in between, let's say you want to pause it in between. I don't know why you'd want to do that to Downstream, but you can do that. So I'll hit pause, and it stops it in midstream. Then we can go back. Both of these have a built-in feature that I think you can change, but there's 1/2 second lag between forward and reverse. So if you're running a motor spinning, it gives it a chance to slow down or stop before you change directions. So both of these are made for motors or linear actuators. So that's why that feature's in there, which isn't a bad feature to just leave in there for even this. So all right, so I'm going to head back out to the street. All right, everybody, so this is as far as I could get earlier with that antenna on the cheaper unit, not uncoiled. So there you go, you can see the strobe working. And I will turn it back off. All right, so I'm going to walk over here to the other side of the street. Back where the other unit was working, and see if it doesn't pick it up now. It would not go this far earlier. There you go, look at that. I'm getting signal out here where it wouldn't get before. So it's off, and I'm going to turn it back on again. There it goes. All right, everybody, so you know, it's not that I can't afford these. You know, we're talking $13 and $40, but you know, if you can get 2 or 3 of these and run several different valves, and you can adapt these to go on your 3-ways, just any kind of ball valve with something with a lever on it. So I'm always just looking for, you know, something that's less expensive, that does the same job. And so I'm gonna, like I said before, I'm gonna try this one out first, because both will be in a weatherproof box anyway. I'll try this out first. If it doesn't get the distance or jacks up on me, I have this one, and then and if I find that out in the field that this one's really not working, then I'll let you guys know. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this this case, and I'm going to drill a hole right here to let that antenna come out through the case and put it all back together.